Welcome back to All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll. I'm running point on this channel. We're heading back out to Pasadena for your November real estate update. We had a 27% increase in sales month over month in our last video for our October update. We're not going to get that trend coming this month as well, but we're going to break down everything you need to know. We're going to get into the current statistics month over month, year over year. End of the video, I'm going to break down a few homes that have caught my eye. We try and find some value in this very tough real estate market, and we got a hot new home on the market that you got to check out. So stick around for that. Let's go. For those of you who are new to the channel, we break this down every single month. We're looking for consistency in the neighborhood. We want to see exactly what's going on. Obviously, the real estate game right now is dealing with a bunch of issues, right? Low inventory, high rates, high prices, but we're going to keep our eye on things. Try and find some value if you're a buyer, let you know how things are looking if you're a home owner, and we're going to break it all down. And we start things off with the current numbers out in Pasadena. So we got 105 homes available for sale. That is a very consistent number for those of you who've been following along. We've been staying between 101 and 109 for months now. So the inventory, though it is low for Pasadena on average, there still is a lot of availability, and we're still kind of seeing homes stay in that 101 spot. We did see 29 of those homes do price drops, which is 27%. Typically, that would be a huge red flag, completely out of the normal for a great neighborhood like Pasadena, but that's just the reality. Go look at like Palm Springs. They just canceled short-term rentals out there. Obviously, that was a big area for Airbnb. Almost all the homes are seeing price drops that are available. 27% is kind of the norm on the east side, so we're not worried too much about that. Minimum to get into the neighborhood right now, $475,000. That is the lowest number we have seen in months. To buy a home for under $500K anywhere on the east side of Los Angeles is unheard of. So as you might assume, this is a project home, and we're going to get into it specifically in the last segment of the video, so stick around for that. Top dog, we got a new top dog in the neighborhood, $3.650 million. This house is absolutely insane. For those of you who follow along with Pasadena, as you might assume, what street is this home on? It's on Knoll, where all the big dogs are at. So we'll break down that home as well in the final segment. Our average right now is 2.647910. So we've seen that number slowly creep up. A couple months ago, we were at 2.2 on the average. Then we went to 2.4 last month. Now we're up to 2.6. Obviously, that's a little bit inflated by our big dog at 36 million, but we're starting to see that number creep up. Reason being is affordability is not great in the real estate market, right? So people who do want to move into Pasadena are a lot more tempted to take the lower priced homes. So the ones that are higher priced have to have pretty much cash buyers. We're at like around a 7.5% rate right now when I'm taping this video. So it really makes it very hard to finance anything on the top end. So that's why we see that number start to creep up. Average days on market is 70. That's the second straight month we've been above 70. So we look for that number. 60 is kind of the golden number. That's when you start to see the price drops. You know, essentially, no homeowner wants to sit for 2 months trying to sell their home. So once you get above 60, that's when you start to see price drops. That's when you start to see sellers start to offer, incentives like buy down rates and different things like that. So that's what kind of constitutes our 27% price drop, because we've been over 70 days on the market for 2 straight months. A lot of those the high price ticket, as I just mentioned. If we take a quick peek into November of 2022, we had 66 homes sell, 101% clip, so 1% on average over that list price. If we look back into last year, like most years, it was a real slowdown section, right? So we went from 79 down to 66 as we made that jump from October into November of last year. And that's something that's pretty consistent. So we can kind of expect that as we move into the winter months. People just don't want to deal with the hassle of buying. They don't want to deal with buying a home, during the holidays and the typical us, and especially if they got kids and they just got into school. So that's not something to be too worried about. But let's take a quick look into last month so we can get some relevancy exactly what's going on in the neighborhood. We always take a peek at last month's numbers, because if you're somebody who's out looking for a home, it's going to be the most vivid information. Because they're dealing with the same things. They're dealing with the high rates. They're dealing with the same market, and the market kind of dictates everything. So we want to go over last month So if you're somebody who's out there searching, if you need help, reach out to me. Happy to help. But we had 68 homes sell last month in Pasadena, 102% clip, so 2% over the list price on average. That's an important number for both buyers and sellers. So we've seen that number be pretty consistent. So it's 3% over, then 4% last month in October was, or last month in September is 2%. October was 2% as well. So that kind of gives you a gauge if you're a buyer. If I see a house that's attractive, where I know I need to have my offer come in at so I can probably win the bid. Meaning, so if it's a, let's say, $2 million house, you're probably going to have to go $40K over that list price to, reasonably obtain that home if it's not something that just hit the market that's super attractive. But just a normal essence of a kind of real estate cycle. If I'm a home owner in Pasadena, that's one of the telltale signs. Now, there's no real way to see exactly how much your home is appreciated until you put it on the market and the market tells you what it is. Obviously, most homes, normal years, you're getting 6 to 7% gains. But when you see those 2% marks on a monthly basis consistently, that your home is probably appreciating, because most people, as far as finding comps and listing your home, anybody can kind of do that. So when people are going to price their home to where, basically homes have sold around the neighborhood. So when you see the 2% gains, that means the homes are probably gaining a little bit of value, which is something that always kind of happens, especially in a great neighborhood like Pasadena. The minimum sale last month, $645K. It went $120K over the list price. So that's 23%, pretty high. If you have, an agent who's bearing down on you to continue to make 20% offers over the list price, you should probably have some hesitations on that. That's pretty high, but this was obviously a project home to get into Pasadena for $645. It was listed for $525. Both of those incredible numbers. Obviously, this is a project piece that they're going to go in and rebuild this home, remodel this home. Top end, we did have a sale at $5.8 million. It sold right at that list price, but we're getting some action above that $5 million mark. Average home sales last month, we're staying super consistent, 1.627, 842 as far as the average sale price, and that we're sitting consistently in Pasadena. If you've been following along, 1.6, 1.7, and that's an important number as well if you're a homeowner to kind of track appreciation, because it gives you a sense. Obviously, your distinct neighborhood within Pasadena is going to give you more specific information, but the generalized neighborhood obviously affects that as well. The reason why you see, huge averages above when it comes to homes for sale compared to the homes that sold, and we see this in every neighborhood on the east side, that number is always lower as far as sold. Once again, that trickles right back to the affordability aspect of things, where people, there's so many less people who are able to afford kind of that top end range of things. But 1.6 is really, we've been kind of the sweet spot of what we've been looking at out in Pasadena. And if I'm somebody who's a home buyer and I see something that's attractive at 1.4, that's a good kind of buy for me if it checks all the other boxes, because I know it's under the average as far as the sale price in Pasadena, which gives me kind of faith that it's got room for appreciation and it's a good value buy. Days on market for those homes that sold was 27 on average. If we take a quick peek into October of 2022, we had 79 homes sell, 104% clip. So we're getting a little bit more over the list price last year in October. It's a 14% decline year over year. Not a terrible number, not a number we're worried about. We just, inventory was pretty low last year and it's just continued to dwindle down. I'm sure you're aware, but it's basically to the point where there's so many people who own homes who have interest rates below 6, below 5, below 4, 80% I believe have below 6 right now. So it makes that very tough for them to go out and sell, because they know they're going to have to go out back into the market and pay a 7.5% interest rate. But let's go take a look at a few of the homes, see if we can find you some value in the neighborhood and homes that have caught my eye. Homes that have caught my eye. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down the entry level. What's the minimum price to get in the neighborhood? So if you're adamant about getting out into Pasadena and you can't afford 1.6, you can't afford 2.6, we give you some insight for what it would look like to get that kind of starter home on the bottom end in Pasadena. Then we'll go to PK's top pick. Generally, that can be some, a great neighborhood, great amenities, great school district. But in today's kind of environment, I always focus on it being a value play. You have to go out, especially if you're going to finance, and find a home that has great potential to appreciate and is good from a numbers perspective. because otherwise you might be in some trouble. And then we'll talk about the top dog, see what the ceiling looks like in the neighborhood. So let's start off with the entry level, a little bit of house cleaning. Last month's entry level position was 781 East Howard. It was the $600K home. For those of you following along, that was a probate sale. Essentially, someone passed and it got left to the children or whoever, and the home gets sold. Usually they price them very low because they want to make sure they get rid of them. It is pending right now. The comps for this home were about $1 million, so we expected them to get a lot of offers. I do not expect it to sell at $600K, so it's going to be over. We'll keep you updated on next month's update in December to see exactly what happens. I will tell you, we do have a lot of homes, in the state, in the city in general, that are going pending or under contract, and because of where rates are fluctuating, they're falling out in escrow. So we'll keep our eye on it and make sure this one goes through, tell you exactly where it kind of falls into play. But the new bottom home in the neighborhood right now is 155 South Halsted Street. It's only a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 600 square feet. So small home here, listed for $475. $791 per square foot. So that's the first number we consistently look at. That's one number that's going to really tell you, are you getting your bang for your buck? Are you getting good value as far as the size of the home? 791 is fine. So we really want, on the lower end, it's somewhere between 5 and 7. So 791 is a little high, but when you get a 600 square foot, there's not a lot of room to work with, and you're not going to get any prices on any home much lower than 475 anywhere on the east side, let alone Pasadena. Lot size is kind of small, 2559. They are requesting only cash buyers on this, and they have only posted one picture, which makes me believe that this is probably a full teardown, complete remodel. So it's probably not turnkey. You're going to have to come in, do the remodel. Realistically, the comps, for a 11600 in this neighborhood is around 600 to 700K. So it gives you a little bit of wiggle room if you can kind of come in and get it right at that 475, number 500. Gives you 6 figures to go in and do the work, but it's not a house you're going to purchase today, move in tomorrow. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's jump over to PK's top pick. First of all, September, we're checking it back in with the September. So I do this every single month. If you want to check back on some of these homes that I talk about as far as our reviews go, just go back to my page, look for the September real estate update for Pasadena, and you will find PK's top pick was 677 Atchison. It was on hold last month. It did not sell, and it's back to being active, and they've lowered the price 100K. So I liked it in September, had good value, great numbers from a per square footage. We liked the comps. It needed a little bit of work. It was listed for 1.05. They've lowered, 1.05. They lowered it 100K down to 950. So they put it on hold last month, did a little bit of improvements, and they're looking to get it off their hands. So there might be some value there. So go back and take a peek at September's real estate update if you're interested in that house. Last month, we highlighted 581 Westover Place. That was at $2.7 million. So I went a little bit on the high end, but we love the home. The lot here was over 15,000. If you remember, the comps were incredible as well. I told you this one was going to sell. It is under contract. I'll keep you updated next month. But beautiful home there. This month, we're going into 1648 Corson Street. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1275 square feet. And I'm getting you some value here. I'm finding you a home in Pasadena for under $1 million. It's only $849K, $665 per square foot. Love that number. 8375 lots. So we got some room to work here. And here's one of the most attractive things about this home is it was built in 2014. If you follow along with Los Angeles real estate, there is so many homes that were built in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. So we get a 2014. You're going to probably mitigate a lot of the issues you're going to get with some of those older homes. It's going to be updated. This is a gated community. So, Pasadena in general is a very safe place, to live, to raise your kids, but a gated community just gives you that extra plus on that. One thing that really attracted me to this home is you just, when we kind of eye in on the neighborhood, there's a comp. So 1712 Corson, which is right down the street. It's currently available to sell. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 888 square feet. So 1 less bedroom, 1 less bathroom, 400 less square feet. It's listed for $844. So only $5K under our number. So we know we're getting way better value on this home that was built in 2014. Makes me feel warm inside if I'm going to make this offer. We also had a home that just recently sold that was a 3-2-10-44. So same bedroom, same bathrooms. We got 200 square feet on that, and it sold for $1 million. So I anticipate at minimum that this home sells 2, 3, 4% over the list price, but very attractive home, newly built, Pasadena, great school districts, great on crime, great downtown areas. So definitely check out the house out here on 1648. If you're interested in Pasadena, we can get in for under $1 million. You can go in, sneak in, maybe get it 925, 950. We'll see if that kind of comes to fruition. But I try to find you a real value play here in Pasadena, coming in, 800K under the average sale price in Pasadena. And that's what I'm talking about. That average sale price, if historically over time, real estate's going to continue to increase. That's just a matter of fact. And, when you come in at basically half of the average sale price that we've seen consistently, that's a good value play. Your home has a lot of room for appreciation. It's not a small home, right? It's a 3-3-1275 with a pretty big lot, 8375. So it really is checking all the boxes. One of the best plays on the east side right now. So definitely check that home out. If you need some help, reach out to me. Let's finish off with the top dog. We got to do a little bit of housekeeping here. September 12-15, Wentworth, still active. So we looked at that home. We had a little bit of questions, but it was originally listed back in September for 11.5. When we checked in on it last month, it was listed for 10.495. So they lowered it 100K, just over 100K, and now it's listed for 9.495. $1 million. And they've lowered it another $1 million. Math screwing me up. So 11.5, lowered it $1.5 million to 10.495. Lowered it another $1 million to 9.4. So this seller is ready to move off it. Obviously, you need a cash buyer in most instances if you're going to pay $10 million for a home. Last month, we had 407 Belmore. If you remember this one, that was the one with that beautiful pool. It is also still active. It was listed for $9.388 million. Our concern with this one, it was by far the nicest home in the neighborhood. And there's this kind of saying in real estate that you never buy the nicest home in the neighborhood. There's some holes to that argument, but this home's listed for over $9 million in that direct neighborhood. We've never had a sale over 5.4. So it was a big ask to see if we were going to get the offers on this. But this one's kind of holding out. They're sitting tight at that price. It's a different kind of category. But we got a new top dog in the neighborhood. We got to check this house out. This house is absolutely insane. It's one of those houses where you're like, how could one person even live here? But it's 2 Oak Knoll Terrace. If you know anything about Oak Knoll Terrace, if you want a street to just take a walk down and take a look at a house, start in South Pasadena, take the walk on Oak Knoll Terrace, because you will see some absolute banger homes. Incredible. 7 bedrooms, 21 baths. When you get triple the baths compared to bedrooms, some good stuff's going on in this crib. 32,644 on the square footage. As I mentioned earlier, this home is listed for $36.5 million. Insane, beautiful home. $11.18 per square foot. When you get into the top end aspect of real estate, especially in Los Angeles, especially if the home is nice and updated, that number is always going to be above 1,000. We are cool with 11.18 if you've got the 36 million to put down. The lot over 100K, 106,900 is the lot size on this one. They have an art gallery at this home, an incredible tiki bar. This home has the largest square footage in Pasadena, so you're gonna have the biggest house in the neighborhood. It's got a poker room, a movie theater, an insane wine cellar. Wealthy people love wine cellars. The largest sale in the history of Pasadena, 17.7 million last January. This is over double that. So we're going to see if we get any offers. Obviously, this is a certain class of individuals who can afford this. So probably not you. If it is, good for you. But we're going to keep our eye on it. We'll see what this big dog does. I'll keep you updated next month as we get into the December real estate update. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind.
Yeah.